Hello, it's me, Oscar from Marijuana Garden.
Based on the information in the image, here's a fact check and truthfulness assessment. Truthfulness level misleading or maybe oversimplified. The core comparison is technically distorted, though individual facts have some basis. A human brain uses about 12 watts to think. Factual basis. This is largely accurate. Neuroscientists estimate the human brain's power consumption at roughly 12 to 20 watts during active thinking. This figure represents the energy needed to power the brain's biological neurons and synapses. So, in terms of accuracy, it's mostly true. An AI trying to do the same could need 2.7 billion watts. Now that's a bit misleading. This figure likely comes from the total energy consumed during the training of a massive AI model, like OpenAI's GPT-3. The distortion is that it's not really about thinking or inference. The 2.7 billion watts, or 2.7 gigawatts, actually represents the cumulative energy used over weeks or even months of training, not the power draw at a single moment while the AI is thinking or performing inference on a single query. A power plant's output is measured in instantaneous power, in watts. So the light bulb versus power plant comparison is honestly kind of faulty. It's really apples versus oranges. Training an AI model to have broad capabilities is fundamentally different from the biological processes of a human brain learning and thinking. So the AI training process, it actually involves processing vastly more data, think the entire internet, within a relatively short time, something the human brain could never really do. But here's the thing. Comparing the energy cost of achieving capability isn't the same as comparing the energy cost per thought. Inference is cheaper. The energy cost for an AI to use its trained knowledge, like, say, answering your question, is significantly lower than training. That's one light bulb versus an entire power plant. Now, this is a dramatic visualization of the misleading 12-watt versus 2.7 gigawatt comparison. But let's be clear, it's actually misleading. It's based on the flawed premise we just talked about. A single modern LED light bulb uses about 10 watts, which is pretty comparable to the brain. A large power plant might output 1 to 3 gigawatts. So the scale visualization isn't wrong. If the 2.7 gigawatt figure was an instantaneous draw, which it isn't, especially not for thinking. Let's talk about fact-checking the source and the video. The source in the image? The post is attributed to AI.Innovations Hub on a platform that looks a lot like Instagram. But honestly, this appears to be a social media account sharing AI-related content, not an original research source. So, the text Times of India you see at the bottom is probably a credit or watermark, which means the visual, or maybe the original reporting, could have come from the Times of India, which is, a major Indian newspaper. It's a good idea to search the Times of India website for articles about AI energy consumption, just to check if they actually reported this specific claim. And about the YouTube video issue, well, there's actually no link or title for any specific YouTube video in the image text provided. Alright, let's quickly recap the key takeaways. The human brain's wattage, which is around 12 watts, is actually factually correct, and the 2.7 billion watts, or 2.7 gigawatts, is a real estimate for the total energy used during the training of a massive AI model, like GPT-3. The claim is pretty misleading because, well, it compares the instantaneous power of the brain to the total energy used over time, which is then kind of awkwardly converted into an unrealistic instantaneous power for AI training. It mixes up the energy cost of training a powerful AI model with the energy cost of actually using that capability, like AI inference or, just thinking with your brain. And honestly, the idea that an AI thinking a single thought needs a power plant is just not true. The energy used for inference is way, way lower. So in conclusion, this post takes a small bit of truth, like brain efficiency versus the large energy costs of AI training, and, well, it spins it in a really sensationalized and technically inaccurate way to make a dramatic point about how inefficient AI is compared to biology. It's true that current large AI models are super energy intensive, especially when they're being trained. but the specific 12 watts versus 2.7 gigawatts for thinking comparison just isn't valid.